Alright, g'day, hi and welcome. So I'm on my way to paying my bills. There's a lot of stove wood over there. I don't know if you guys got a glimpse of it or not. Nice fall colors coming out. Kind of warm in this truck. Look at that, they got all kinds of like, it's a large pickup day. And if I had my truck and trailer paid off and my truck working good, I'd be around probably collecting scrap metal today. Probably do really well today, but not gonna happen. But anyway, East Coast Canadian asked me a question about doing videos on tree species, like in my area and stuff like, you know, which pretty much most of Canada will have the same thing. And that's a good idea, I might do that. But what I want to talk about is the trees in my area. So you go out to BC or you go to, like, say, Oregon State or something like that, and they got those giant redwoods, like the things are just ginormous and stuff like that, right? But around here, there's no real, like here in Quebec, there's not, until you get to northern Quebec, you really don't see big trees. Why is that? Well, it's simple, really. These trees are not that old. Like, the average tree around here would probably be, say, 40, 50, 60, maybe 70 years old. 80 probably is the max. After that, 100-year-old trees are kind of rare around here. Why? Because this side of the country is older than the other side of the country population-wise. Canada was settled in the east first, right? Almost 100 years before you're really seeing settlements starting in the west. Like they had to find their way through the country before they did it. So there was like about 100-year head start in one of the first industries in the country. Whereas obviously things like the fur trade, the second big one would be basically lumber, right? Cutting masts for tall ships. So you go back 300 years, the trees around here are ginormous, right? You might even find an old stump sitting there that's a couple of 100 years old, going, wow, that thing was huge. And considering people cut those down by hand, even crazier, right? But the real thing is that this was all clear cut down to the Ottawa River. I'm about 100 kilometers from the Ottawa River, but about 200 kilometers north of me, think of a gigantic square, almost the size of, I mean, if you think of an area about the size of Italy, okay, that was clear cut. That was clear cut. And it was clear cut for many, you know, like a century and a half, right? Maybe even 2 centuries. And it was constantly recut. So the trees never got it. Oh, look at those old cars. The trees never got a chance to really get big here. And then back in the 1950s, when my dad was a kid, he said there was a massive fire went through and it burnt. It was probably a controlled fire for the most part, but it burnt the whole way down to the Ottawa River pretty much, right? And then there was the big fire in Hull and stuff like that. I'm sure that burnt some of the outskirts as well. And that happened twice. A lot of people died in that fire in Hull in the early 1900s. Oh, there's some metal. Oh, I could be getting so much metal today. There's the still shop, but still. That's my, you know, feel sorry for me voice. I don't know, that's probably sounds more annoying than anything. But yeah, that's why we don't have monster trees in like southern and western Quebec and eastern Quebec. Is mainly because everything was clear cut from the logging industry. Like a lot of stuff would have went to the Montreal port. A lot of stuff went to Hull, Quebec for you know, like there's still the E.B. Eddy plant is still down there. That plant is over 100 years old, I'm sure. So yeah, there was all that going on, and that's why you don't see really ginormous trees here. So for anybody that's getting a saw here, like like the only guy that's going to buy a Stihl 881 is probably an asshole that just wants to show off. You know what I mean? Like, they really don't sell as much out here. I'm sure there's guys that work them in the bush or whatever, and they do need that power, but most of the time you'll never need that kind of power, right? So So that's why, like, around here you don't have those big trees. We do get the odd big tree, especially like on private properties and stuff like that. Like, that's where you see the big trees. But on the Crown land, you usually don't see the big trees as much, unless it's plantation. But the plantations are usually like giant pines and stuff like that. Well, look where this asshole parked. Like, really, dude, that is not where you park. What were they thinking? Holy shit, this is full. Oh, no wonder. No, I'm gonna have to be an asshole and find somewhere. I know I'm gonna park. They're gonna make me walk all that way. That sucks. I hope the bank's open. So I got bills to pay. I got bills to pay, man. I won't be able to pay it, and I don't want to be late on my bill paying. I don't like doing that because I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you know, it doesn't do anything for your credit. Like, you can pay every bill for 10 years straight, right? Without missing. But you miss one bill, it goes against your credit rating. Not very much, but it, you know, every time it hits. Don't you park there too. Forward, forward, forward. Don't be in the laneway. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if you heard me or not. But yeah, anyway, I'm just gonna park up the street. I'll park at the bar. That's a weird looking 001. That's cool. Cool. It's so divotty here. It literally knocks your vehicle out of signal. Like, holy. I'm not saying this parking lot's bad, but if I had to judge it, if I just had to make that judgment, you know what I mean? I'm gonna park right here. It's close. That's probably actually closer to the bank. Here's as good as anywhere. Back Chez Rick. That's the motel hotel. All right, there we go.